Tonight, Nigeria's politics is doing what it knows how to do best, shocking everyone. Good evening, welcome to Active Citizens Parliament. My name is Sharon Enemchuku. Joining me live in the studio as always, I have with me Ifoma Oji. Good evening, how are you doing?
Good evening, Sharon.
How are you doing?
I'm fine.
We see
Everly
that.
Great.
Yes. Now we have three major stories. We'll see how much we can take for the duration of this particular segment. Now, on this very segment, we're starting with Anambra's election drama. Inec says it will fix network glitches. Nigerians are asking, how are we still talking about this in 2025? Then over in Kwara State, parents are now being rewarded with cash to send their girls back to school. A bold idea or just political PR dressed as policy, who knows? Finally, in Edo State, the APC reportedly wants to suspend commissioners not wearing Tinubu's campaign cap. You heard that right. No cap, no entry. Now let's dig in. First, we're starting with what's going on in Anambra State. Seeing that we have the Anambra gubernatorial elections, which is fast approaching, slated for November 8, 2025, the new Inec chairman and president, Professor Joash Amupitan, has promised free, fair elections. He has sang a lot about everything that should be expected of him, saying that the elections would be so free and fair that even losers would congratulate the winners. And we're about to see what he is going to do first with the Anambra State gubernatorial elections. Now, the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, that is Prof. Joash Amupitan's son, has assured Nigerians that the commission is taking urgent steps to resolve network challenges experienced during the mock accreditation exercise in Anambra State ahead of the November 8 governorship election. According to the INEC chairman, the commission plans to deploy 24,000 personnel across 5,718 polling units in Anambra State. So what this means generally is that they conducted a mock accreditation recently, and during that whole exercise, the same network issues they experienced in 2023, they also experienced the same glitches during this accreditation process. Now, they've come to encourage us that before November 8, that they would have somehow fixed that network glitch. But Nigerians are asking, and I personally, I want to know, Ifoma, do you think that this particular network glitch that we experienced in 2023, unfortunately, we're still seeing in 2025, is something that can be rectified before November 8?
Well, INEC. Well, did I congratulate the new INEC chairman?
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah. You know, the formal, what's it called, INEC chairman, according to him, he delivered. I mean, he did exceptionally well. Well, 2023 showed us otherwise, and we are here in 2025 with a new INEC chairman, and we're uncertain of how the result is or how the election is going to pan out, most especially in Anambra State. Now, we've already seen these promises over and over again of INEC working on the glitches, the network, and the rest of them. And when it's the date for the slated election, we're hearing a lot of glitches. So we've heard these headlines before. What we're asking now is we want to know the mechanisms, what he's employing to ensure that this particular glitch would not reoccur again. That is the question every Nigerian is asking. And I'm quite cautious and optimistic. I'm really looking forward to November 8th, because that is when we'll know if this is promise is actually he really want to deliver on his promise. Yes. I really want to see it.
But before we even move to November 8, right, this particular glitch that has been occurring for almost after 2023 now, 2 years now, do you think that this is as a result of incompetence or just technical infrastructure that they are not up to speed with?
I think it's actually incompetence, because they've been other countries, US, we have Ghana, people that have already conducted elections in the past, and we're not hearing anything like glitches and the rest of them. So I think it's incompetence on the side
But
of
the other day, Equatorial
INEC.
Guinea, a country, came out to observe INEC processes and to take some notes. So what
I
exactly?
really don't know who gave them that advice. That, I mean, Nigeria is network glitch free. I don't know who gave them that idea, but I think, like I said earlier, it's actually incompetence on the side of INEC,
Right.
and we're really hopeful that this new INEC chairman will actually change or turn the tables around this time around. Like they always say, cho. Is November 8th that we'll see working.
And you know, talking about showing workings, he has already planned to deploy 29,000 personnel to over 5,000 polling units in Anambra State. And 29,000 personnel, do you think that's impressive? Because even before now, we saw that there are over 100 internet observers for the election that, you know, have already been approved by INEC. Now, with what is going on, 29,000 personnel, one, do you think that that would make any positive impact in making sure that things are being done smoothly? And do you also think that even before the November 8th election, that the INEC chairman, who is new, is on top of things, making sure that the candidates for the gubernatorial seats are abiding to the instructions and electoral acts, whether you be the sitting governor or an aspiring gubernatorial candidate?
Okay, I think you have to reiterate when I miss any of the questions
No
that you
problem.
asked. Now, on the first question, 29,000 personnel, that's a large number.
Almost
and
30.
Yeah, it's a great optics. Looking from what
Sorry, 24,000.
24,000.
Yes.
The optics is great, the plan is great, looking or judging from what he is saying. But at the end of the day, it boils down to November 8th election. We're going to see if those people will transmit the real results of the election. I believe that they are going to act as a monitoring body or a watchdog to election. I believe that's why they are being deployed. So we are really going to see if the elections in Anambra State will be free and fair in the different polling units.
But how can we tell? Well, what are the measures that you would be looking at to actually compare or to ascertain if the Anambra State election is going to be free and fair?
You know, when an election is transparent, you will know, not just from those personnel that they are deploying, but from the people in the polling unit, people that came to vote.
True.
They will equally tell you, okay, this is how everything went down, this is the result. And if it tallies with the same results that those people that are being deployed gave out, then I think we have a free and fair election in different polling units. And then coming to the second question,
about
you asked, I think at this point I should ask the new INEC chairman if he really read the headlines, was it yesterday or this morning, where the Anambra State governor was saying or trying to induce people monetarily for to vote for him for November 8th election. Because I think in this article he said that he warned that anybody found inducing people to vote, that there is a penalty for such crime. So I'm like, is he aware of the campaign, the inducement going on in Anambra State by the governor of Anambra State? I think maybe somebody should draw his attention.
I think they should be aware of these things
that. So
and
which
up to date
other,
with this news.
Exactly. Did you ask any?
No, that's just it on what I asked earlier. Second to the last question now, before we move on to the next story, do we think that with what is going on now, with the preparations that we are gearing up towards the November 8th election, like you said, there are things that you are going to look out for a free, fair election, like transparency and the results, whether it tallies with those that were right there on the field and with what we are being offered or presented with. If the Anambra State election, how crucial is the Anambra State election generally when it concerns being free and fair? Do we think that for the Nigerians that are watching, even both Anambrans and non-residents of Anambra State, whether the Anambra State election goes free and fair, do we think it is going to affect the trust, the public trust of Nigerians towards INEC?
Now, I'll speak from 2023 election. I believe the former chairman of INEC tanked Nigerians' trust. He eroded Nigerians' trust. So I think if this new INEC chairman is able to deliver this time around, when we see free and fair elections and a lot of glitches being curbed and the rest of them, then I think maybe that is a step to the perfect direction of, you know, people regaining trust in INEC once more. But when we don't see anything like that, it will keep on eroding or emboldening, you know, mistrust in INEC. So I think this November 8th, which is fast approaching, is almost here, is more like a litmus test to check if this new INEC chairman is going to live up to expectations. Exactly.
Because he has come out to make really laudable promises, and this is not something the Nigerians are new to. We're used to making loud, bold promises without seeing actual results. Anyways, we have to hold on to the promise of the new INEC chairman in person of Professor Joash, and hope that the Anambra State gubernatorial election is going to go as smooth and as free and fair as he has predicted. Moving on to Kwara State, where the Kwara State government has announced 130,000 naira above minimum wage, let me just state that, conditional cash transfer to girls who return to schools under the World Bank Assisted Adolescent Girls Initiative for Learning and Empowerment Program. Now, this initiative is sponsored by the World Bank, but is also being collaborated with the federal government. And according to the Kwara State government, about 37,000 girls have so far been captured to benefit from this particular program. Now, 37,000 girls. You know, when we talk about the out-of-school children, now I think this particular scheme is more focused on the girl child, to bring back the girl child to school, those that have left, and, you know, because of one reason or the other. And I also think there is something remarkable that is going on in Kwara State. Another thing is the fact that they have the second chance program, where people, older children or older adolescents or younger adults who for one reason or the other dropped out of school are given opportunity to return back to school now. And they've also scraped the PTA payment, because according to them, when they did their research, that was one of the reasons why parents were not bringing their children to school. All of these steps that they have taken, do you think that it is sustainable, one, Ifoma, with, you know, using 130,000 naira to pay the parent? How long can they hold on to that? Is that something that following governments would continue? Is there continuity that we see there? And just secondly, with what is going on, bringing back children to education, which is beautiful, do we think that our educational sector is ready or well equipped to actually house and welcome these students back?
Okay, if I'm to cut to the chase, I think this is a great policy. It shows boldness. It shows a government that is proactive. I mean, you know, we all know that money is a great motivator. Once you see small money enter your hand right now, you go deliver immediately. So it's beautiful. I love the idea. It's beautiful, like I said earlier. But at the same time, what we'll ask here is, does that translate to them increasing the infrastructure in those schools? Does that translate to, you know, we are aware that a lot of teachers in schools are underfunded. Will they work on that? That is another question I'm asking. And why is it that it's just the female folks that they are focused on? What happens to equality? What happens to children in the streets, the Amajiris, the male ones that are equally in the streets?
I think it starts from somewhere.
I feel like it should be, how many? 37,000 of them. I feel like it should be balanced. I mean, in as much as we want to prioritize the female education or the rest of them, at the same time I feel like it should be inclusive. Let the other party not feel left out or they don't matter or sidelined. As number one. And then number two, I asked the same question that you asked earlier. What is the sustainability plan? Are we seeing them doing this one time, like just this year? Are we seeing them constantly doing this, paying that amount of money for parents? And are we seeing, you know, the school calendars changing like than the usual way it used to be? Are we seeing more children attending schools? Are we seeing more children coming out with, you know, greater results? Those are the questions that we are going to ask. It's not about giving them incentives for them to come to school. What we're saying now is, are we going to see deliverables? Are we going to see results?
Are we going to see this reflecting generally in the society? Now, when we were making your comments, you were talking about equality, but unfortunately for Nigeria has a high number of girls that are out of school, with estimates suggesting over 10.5 million girls, which amounts to 60% of the total number of out-of-school children as a result of early marriage and abuse and all of that that is against the girl child. Now, this is why they are more focused on getting, because when you get more number of girls back to school, you have automatically increased or decreased the number of children in Nigeria that are out of school, and that is why the World Bank is sponsoring this particular initiative. And moving on, I also wanted to ask about this entire package. Do we think that with the money, 130,000 naira, which is great, it is above our minimum wage, it's amazing, right? But number one, we don't see a sustainability. But apart from that, are there other options that the state government should have looked into if they really wanted to encourage these people or these parents? One, let's look at job creation in Kwara State. How many jobs are in Kwara State? How many number of people and youths have they employed in Kwara State? Can we take a look and shift our focus on that? Now, if you are talking about encouraging these parents, are there other, according to you, are there other initiatives that maybe the Kwara State government can adopt in order to make this entire aid more sustainable in the long term?
Yeah, I think that's quite beautiful. I didn't touch the fact that you're creating this initiative or you're coming up with this innovative idea, and we are not seeing a lot of job creation. Why don't you, like I said earlier, try as much as possible to balance things? Let's not just focus on education. There are other sectors that are bleeding. Now, apart from that, we have serious insecurity in Kwara State. Now, if you're giving parents 130,000 naira for their children to return back to school, what is the guarantee that the children leaving the house for schools or school activities, that they will return the same way they left the house? So you see, insecurity is more like that same problem that other states in the northern regions are actually experiencing. So I think they should equally work on insecurity, covering insecurity, so that these children can go to school and come back home.
I like that you said that they should fix insecurity. And you see, when you talk about, I understand the need to centralize and work on a particular sector of the economy one by one, but when you look at insecurity that is disturbing the entire nation, it is something that would negatively influence other things that you want to do, whether it be positive or not, because when you can't protect lives, you really can't do anything for those people. Anyways, it is something that we commend greatly for the Kwara State government, but it's also something that a lot of Nigerians, especially here in the studio, that we worry about is sustainability in the long run. But going forward, it is something that we encourage other state governments to emulate as well, so that we can reduce the number of out-of-school children in Nigeria. Moving forward, for the last but not the least story for tonight, a rather interesting scenario is going down in Edo State, where, first of all, a backstory. Governor Bebolo the other day came out to say that in solidarity with their principal, the President of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that the commissioners should wear their, not just commissioners, executives, right, should wear their Siwaju caps or Siwaju hats, whatever it's called, to attend their meetings, And everybody in that particular video, they shared it, they were happy with it. But moving on now, we are hearing that there are some people in the APC party who are not cool with that. Now, they have also come out to say that in accordance with what the governor said, that they would even go as far as enforcing that any commissioner who does not wear their Tinubu cap would be suspended. So now, not only will they not be allowed into the meeting, they would be suspended. I don't know, is this solidarity or what? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section. But right here in the studio, Ifoma, is this loyalty, solidarity, or just psychophancy?
I think it's craziness. This is, you know, whenever we wake up every single time in Nigeria and we look at the headlines, it's always drama, it's always theatrics, it's always one thing or the other. And I'm like, is this what this government are supposed to be prioritizing? This is clearly misplacement of priority, if you can agree with me. Because there is a lot of insecurity in Edo State. You're already campaigning. This is 2025. Election is 2026.
You know, they promised him 2.5 million votes, so this is what they said they're using to do that.
It's no longer 2.5, it's now 3.5.
They have increased, that's what I'm saying now.
Exactly.
They've increased it.
And I asked, where is this man, Obebolo, getting his advice from? Why are you suspending people? Imagine a situation whereby people are performing. Let's say those commissioners are performing. Now, because of the fact that they are not putting on the cap, you suspend them.
You know, I wanted to ask, what is the yardstick for measuring contributions and results?
I don't really understand the yardstick, because from the look of the story is stupidity on its own. Now the people, as I was saying, the people that are now underperforming because of the fact that they are wearing caps, they are shielded.
Oh, I forgot my cap. Oh, I should have worn my cap to the show. I forgot to wear my cap. I'm so sorry. I will be putting on my cap tomorrow. But for real, right? When you talk about this and you see it's almost beautiful to see the kind of agreement they have in APC. It's like by fire by force, whether you want it or not, we are going to support Asiwaju. But when you look at the internal democracy in APC and you compare it to other parties, do you think that they are just trying to make sure that there is no repetition of what is going on in other parties in APC, and thereby they're trying to enforce that unity?
Yeah, I think that's what they are trying to do, but at the same time, I feel like they are forcing unity. You know most definitely that your party is divided. There are a lot of divisions or splits in your party. So you want to, by fire, by force, ensure that people are unified, which for me, is that
not something other parties should emulate?
No, it's not something. How can you tell? Like I mentioned earlier, that somebody that is underperforming because of the fact that the person is wearing cap.
No, I'm not talking about quality and performance. No. I'm talking about the unity in parties. Let me just be clear about what is happening in PDP. Because when I say maybe they're trying to prevent what is happening in other parties, I'm actually talking about PDP, because we are seeing what is happening in PDP and how it's in disarray and there is no agreement. I am not speaking for the APC. I just realized I sounded like that. Well, to be honest, I'm asking, what is going on? Do you think that they are trying to do that? And if that is so, because you've agreed, is that too much?
I feel like you shouldn't decide or force people to do certain things just to show their solidarity. You shouldn't. You understand? Let it be something that they do out of their free will. You understand? If they don't want to put on the cap, leave them now.
So it means that they have no freedom to...
Exactly. There are so many ways to unify your party than telling them you must wear cap. They are not kids.
But the other day we saw some politicians sitting on the ground because, you know, a certain politician came out to address them for the same issue, to support the current president. Yes. So I think when you ask the question, are they kids, they would have to answer that themselves. Anyways, moving on. Moving on, just finally on this particular story. How do you think the Nigerian can escape this culture of personality worship? Or, let me rephrase that, money worship?
I think when we have people of integrity, people that knows that, I mean, it is the people I govern first. That is the first step to breaking this whole thing.
They've come here to serve.
Yes, you come here to serve people. That's the first step. And apart from that, people that have the same interests or like minds, that is another way to work on it. But at the end of the day, it's not like I will always say, it's not really about the party at the end of the day. It's about the personality, it's about the goal you want to achieve as a prominent personality or an official in a particular official position at the end of the day.
Now, it's all about your political legacy and the footprints that you leave behind after you must have left a political office. Thank you so much, Ifoma Oji, for your contributions right here on Active Citizens Parliament. Today, we've touched across different issues that is currently going on in Nigeria. We went to Anambra State, where Inec from 2023 is still experiencing some network glitch ahead of the Anambra State gubernatorial election slated for November 8. But they are promising us that there would be no network glitch on that day. And I want to know if you Nigerians are holding on to that promise. Let us know in the comment section. We also moved over to Kwara State, where we see parents being rewarded with 130,000 naira in order to return their kids, especially female children, back to school in order to reduce the percentage of out-of-school children in Nigeria. And finally, we touched down in Edo State, where Bebolo says no cap, no appearance. So if you're a politician in Edo State and you're in the APC party, you better purchase your Tinubu Asiwaju cap. If not, you're going to lose your position. Anyways, these are the three stories that we touched on today. One country, three different stories, but the same question that we are asking is Nigeria truly ready for a revolutionized government? Anyways, my name is Sharon Chuku. If you're yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, please endeavor to do so. Follow us across all social media platforms at Active Citizens. You can find me on my personal Instagram and Facebook at Sharon Chuku. Enjoy for me.
You can find me on Facebook at Audrey Sophia and on Instagram at Misolex.
Till we come your way again tomorrow for Morning Pulse. Do have a good evening.